Every year at summer's end, the best of the harvest is saved to make Flahavan's Progress Oatlets, one of the most nourishing breakfast cereals you can eat. It's rich in fibre, good for your digestion and cholesterol-free. Made as nature intended and brought to you by the name you know, Flahavan's Progress Oatlets sets you up for life.
For life's little or not so little requirements, get the finance you need. Saving with Waterford Credit Union means you can borrow for back to school, holidays, Christmas expenses. These are only some of the reasons that make joining Waterford Credit Union a great idea. Remortgaging, home extensions and improvements. Make sure you're a member and join today.
We're working for you and your local credit union.
Every Wednesday, have tea with Johnny O'Connor, Dermot Keys, Joe Falvey and Nicola Beresford. You get more than just news with the Munster Express.
From clothes to jewellery, gifts to holidays, health, beauty and everything in between. It's all in George's Court Shopping Centre. And don't forget, a coffee and a bite to eat while you're there. Don't miss the George's Court Shopping Centre sale, starting Monday, December 27th.
It's winter sale time at Tony Burke Furniture, O'Connell Street, Waterford. Fantastic reductions in all furniture departments. For the sale you've been waiting for, call to Tony Burke Furniture, O'Connell Street, Waterford.
With all the action from the world's most exciting football league, every fan wants to get their hands on Premiership Extra. So if you want to be the first in the know, keep yours where no one can find it. Premiership Extra, football coverage in a different league. Every Monday in the Star.
You went to Turkey. Tell us about the Turkey experience.
Oh, sure. How long have you got? It was brilliant. I mean, the excitement about going out there, and I was thrilled that Bob Tweedy and John Murphy sponsored me to go out, and I brought my wife with me, and all the gang were out there, and a whole tribe of people came out on the plane. We went out with Strand Travel. I know Creation did a package, so did Harvey Travel. But so there was loads of people. Some people went out to Kusadasi, which is one of the resorts, and they came in for the night, for the Eurovision night. We stayed in Istanbul in a beautiful hotel. We flew over on the plane. The crack was great on the plane going across. Everybody was from Waterford, you know, and we had the famous councillors and all, and the slagging was just unnatural on the plane. Neil Kelly was the instigator of all that, and poor Chow Neely got an awful time, but they had a great time, and they were great ambassadors, I have to say, for Waterford.
Now, were you surprised at how many people went to Istanbul from Waterford?
Well, to be honest, I wasn't surprised because the support in Waterford had been absolutely fantastic in the first place. Like everything, everywhere I went and everything I've done, and coming back from the Eurostar, the night I won the Eurostar, to come back to there was just a crowd in Ballybricken, which was fantastic. And even when I just came back from the Eurovision alone in Welsh Park, it was fantastic. So the support in Waterford, I have to say, it was fantastic. And even today, again, it's still fantastic.
How is he viewing the whole Eurovision situation?
I don't know. I think the general, it's a very hard one to call, because I mean, there was a lot of unknowns in this year's Eurovision, and I know it's all been gone over before, but this thing about the Balkan states and all the Eastern Bloc countries, they kind of had two bites of the cherry, and that's what Phil Coulter was saying over there. He said that may work in our favour or against us, because they would get 2 TV appearances. So therefore, as we found out later, it did work in their favour. But going back to what you asked me, the buzz over there, I mean, everybody had their own little slot, so they were staying in a hotel. Chris was staying there with the management, and Final Four were there as well, the lads, and a couple of the RTE heads, Phil Coulter and I can't remember who else. Larry Gogan was there, Marty Whelan was the commentator for the TV, and a couple of other people. And they were all, everybody was in great form.
It's brilliant, sure, you see it around here. It's great. I'm only waiting for Chris to come on now, you know. I'm only easing myself into it myself tonight, you know. As soon as number 18 come on, I tell you now, I get going.
It's great now. It's really, really good now. We're having a great laugh with all the crowd. Family are all here now. We're all having a brilliant time. That's what it's all about. All here for Chris.
Atmosphere was great coming over. Very good, yeah. I'd say he'll come in the top 5 anyway. He could win, but if he don't win, he'll come in the top 5.
He's great. Yeah, he will go all the way. Yeah, he's brilliant. Yeah.
You going to egg him on all the way?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And Final 4.
Oh yeah, we can't forget about the Final 4.
We were at all the rehearsals. It was great. Went very well. Looked fantastic. I mean, the place was just this enormous basketball hall, which they'd converted into a performance area. It was just the biggest place I've ever seen. I mean, the point would be in the halfpenny place to it. And we went over there on the Friday night. The Friday afternoon there was a rehearsal. Then Friday night they taped that, because if anything goes wrong then with the communications on Saturday for the live show, this is played alongside the live show. So all you have to do is trip a switch if you lose a connection with Turkey, and this rehearsal is shown.
Dress rehearsal was very, very good. Very interesting to see all the different get-ups and the stage setups. I'd say there's a couple of favourites after coming out there, right? But Chris, from our point of view, I think Chris was excellent. He was very, very good, very polished.
That went really well. He sang really well. Everybody over there sort of thought, well, if it's a ballad, Chris has it. And that was genuinely now, you know, it was easy to be wise after the fact over here, I think. That was one thing that kind of annoyed me a bit.
Sure, we hope, you know, I mean, the competition there is fairly tough, but he put it off very, very well now this afternoon. There's a few favourites there. I think the Greece was very well received, but of course the Turkish, being in Turkey, they went bananas when their one came on. The Netherlands was quite good, and Sweden at the end were good. But you know, we'd hope if he gets a good finish, it's all down to the vote, and then you never know what way it'll going to go.
And even Friday night we had a huge party, and Brian McFadden was there in Chris's hotel. Brian arrived with Kerry, and everybody was there. Chris's mum came over and his sister, and we had a few drinks, and we really thought, this is it. I can't get any better than this. We have it.
How soon after Eurovision did you see Chris?
On the night.
Was it on the night?
Yeah, yeah. But we went back. We watched it in the press tent, the voting, and because I sent bits back to WLR that night, so I had a few journalists from around around Europe, and I got a lady from the BBC and stuff, and we watched it happen, of course, and as it went on, so I thought, my God, we're on to the 5th country now, and we still haven't got a vote, and I had to come out and do stuff outside, back to Donald, back here, and anyway, it finished, and we all went back to the hotel for Christmas Day, and Chris came down then, so like Final Four right back, and most of the Irish contingent were in the hotel. There was a big party afterwards, a big post-competition party, which we had already decided not to go to, win or lose or draw. So we went to the hotel. So I mean, Chris came down after about half an hour. I know the guy was upset. I mean, wouldn't anybody be? But I mean, he did his best. I think he felt he'd let people down back here. And what we were all trying to say to him was, look, this is the way it went because of the votes and the Eastern Bloc thing. And I mean, the guy's head must have been in a spin because he was under pressure to perform on the night, which he did a great job on, and Final Four were great and that. But I suppose, you know, when something like that happens to you and you're expecting to do well, because on Friday night we honestly, as I said, thought that he was going to do exceptionally well.
Chris Doran tried to say, if the world stops turning,